Okay, so there's a video. Maybe we should have queued it up. And the video is a guy and he's got nunchucks and he bows to the camera, right? And it looks like he's gonna do a dope nunchuck show, right? But he does this flip first. But when he flips, he doesn't land the flip and he slams his head on the ground. But he still pops back up. And then he still, because of the muscle memory, he starts still doing the nunchuck thing while he's like concussed and then he falls over. And I use that as a reference to the Seahawks running the football because even if our O line is not consistent, because it's not,
It's not.
it got better over the season, but for the most part, we're never going to get that O line. We'll always compare the O line to when we had like, Walter Jones and Steve Hutch and like that O line, like, Sean Alexander ran behind that O line, but it's also easy to run behind a top tier O line.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I could run behind that O line and get 10 yards because those linemen are so good, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We had become like we thought we could replace Marshawn, right? Marshawn is a generational back. He
Yeah.
can run without an O line. He is his own O line. Like he barrels people over. He's hard to tackle. He's quick, right? So when we had that O line, and then we had Marshawn, and we're like, yes, run the ball because we could run. But if you don't have a good running back, you don't have a good O line, and you run pass, like we have to let Russ cook, right? Eventually they figure it out, right? Eventually they figured out Russ too. Our receivers are great, but we became too predictable, and that's why we started to dive really bad towards the end of the season, and in the playoffs we just, that's what it is. At least that's my that's what I feel.
I feel it,
I
man.
still love the Hawks. I think we've got a lot of work to do still. We still have Russ. We still have him for years. We just need to make sure all the things are there.
I'm with that. I actually, in the chat, someone mentioned, this is the result of the Pete Carroll philosophy. And I definitely agree. I like Pete Carroll. I definitely want Pete to coach the team. The thing I will say is when I was watching the game, I was telling my wife, I'm like, man, they're going to have to watch out for Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's the problem. They didn't do a good job with Aaron Donald, not just at the offensive line, but in terms of the play calling, right? So if you have a top tier defensive line, so the Rams defense is amazing, and their defensive line is amazing. If you got a team like that, that's going to rush you, and they're going to have secondary all over your receivers, and the linebackers are going to be able to cover zone, and they can sprint to the ball. You can't wait for the deep ball. You can't wait for a play to come up. Like, I love Russ. Russ is great at evading defenders until the defense breaks down and he'll hit someone. You can't do that. You got to do a lot of play action and sweeps for short throws or short yardage gains. And I never saw them adjust to that. I never saw them figure out, just chip away. Do quick moves, chip away, play action. Don't let them corner Russ. And I love DK Metcalf. I thought he was being kind of immature, to be honest. I felt like you ain't got a poker face, bro. You got to learn to play poker, because the second you started whining on the sideline, they started spying you, and that's when they got that interception. And they ran it back, But I think he's amazing. I just think that, he's still, what is he, like 20, 21, 22? Something like that.
He has this is 2 seasons under his belt, so he might be 24, I think, if he did all 4 years at college.
He's going to be, I hope we keep him. That's my fear, is
Absolutely.
he's going to garner top money, So yeah, I love the Hawks. I just, they make a couple changes. I hope we get back at it. They still need to let Russ cook. They cannot double back. We were 12-4 under that idea. We just crapped out on the first game. But yeah, man.